They should be asking all the teams interview questions like, what does champs mean to you? What will you do if you win champs? How much does this mean to you to win it with this team? Stuff like that. That will fill a whole month of content, like easily getting into champs. And then right before champs, release like a hype montage of the 8 teams going to champs.
A lot of small basic things that they could do to just get the word out and get people more excited for it. I mean, I'm always excited for champs. It's going to be a good event. Like, I'm excited to talk about it and go over the bracket, but it's just a shame because, again, it's always like this what if. The game could have been a little bit better. These guys could have been promoting this stuff a little bit more. I have a strong feeling that this is going to be another Thieves and FaZe grand finals here. I think one of those guys is going to be world champions here. I would be absolutely mind blown if it's not one of them. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 227 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
Justin, how we doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a very hot day today.
Brutal.
And yeah, we're about to go through a heat wave here in New England. But I was telling you earlier, the past couple of weeks, you and I have been complaining about the awful weather every weekend. And we did break a record. It was 13 weekends in a row here of just rain.
Yeah.
That's pretty insane. But now, obviously, that we complained, we are getting very, very hot weather. Like, it is really nice out, but it's so hot.
Yeah, and I prefer it being like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'd rather it be a little bit rainy,
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was going to be raining every other day or it was going to be like this, I would take the rain 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I'm in this kind of weather, I'm miserable. Like, I don't want to go out and do anything because even if I just step outside, I'm going to be sweating,
Yeah. I don't know. Well, like, I understand the sweating part, but I can't.
And the burning, bro.
Yeah, I can't relate to that.
Yeah,
But
that's a me problem.
Yeah. I don't like it when it's this hot and just humid, but I can technically go outside and like do stuff. When it rains on the weekends, like, you can't do anything. Like, I can't step outside and like go for a walk. I mean, I guess I could. I do, but everything's just wet.
Right. Yeah, if it was days like this, I mean, all the time, this is where I'd want to go and live near a beach that I could always go to and just be kicking it there. Like, that would be the ideal move. But since I don't have that at my disposal, I'm like, I just sit inside my place with my AC on, and I don't want to, like, I'll just do things that I can inside, Like I said, I just went for a walk. I was like, oh, let me get out a little bit. Oh, it's horrendous. It's like I still haven't showered from that, and I need to after this because I have to go out afterwards, and I'm still going to be sweating.
Yeah, I've been outside all day today, and it's just, you get sticky and hot and warm. But I have been complaining for the past couple of weeks, so I'll take this weather because at least I can go outside and enjoy it. Because I mean, I sit inside all day for work anyways. It's not like I look outside, it's just sunny. I'm like, damn, I can't do anything. I'm never gonna go outside.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And thing too is funny is my last day. I think I'm finally on summer break, bro. I'm so happy. But I have so much to do this summer still, so it's like it'll be a little bit of a break. But the first couple days, just gray, raining. I'm like, dude, this doesn't feel like summer. Come on, I need a little bit of it. So now today I'm getting that dose. But again, I can only take so many days like this. After a while, I get totally sick of it, and then I get pissed off because the electric bill's through the roof.
Yeah, if I had a pool, I would love this weather.
Oh yeah,
I wish I had a pool, but my neighbors all have pools. I don't.
Right.
I should ask one of them if I can just use it.
Well, dude, maybe down the line, you might want to invest in a pool. Why not? You get like one of the above ground ones.
I don't have room at my place for an above ground pool.
Yeah, I was thinking even the smallest pool that you could get.
Dude, that's not worth it. Why the fuck would you want a small pool like that?
Well, that's true. I mean, I guess it depends on how much you want, like how big of a pool you want. You can get those Intex pools that you can buy in boxes, but if you wanted to get like a legit pool, I'm trying to even remember what the smallest size was. I don't even know, but I do remember. Yeah, no, your backyard's pretty small. Come to think of it,
my backyard. my backyard is big enough to where it's not a pain to like do any yard work. Well, actually, no, yard work sucks. I hate it, but it's big enough to where I can do it, and it's manageable. But
Right.
if it was any bigger than that, like I'm hiring someone. I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of want to hire someone now, but I just can't
Yeah.
afford it right now.
No, I hear you.
If I could fit a hot tub like down on the patio, like, but that's like the biggest I feel like I could go in terms of like having something like that, because that would
Yeah.
fit on the patio and it'll look fine. A
Yeah, and
pool,
that'd be clutch to have too during like the colder months.
yeah, yeah, but probably not gonna. I can't win. Having a smaller backyard, it is nice, but you really have to pick and choose the things that you want in it.
Well,
Because
of
like I
course,
don't
yeah.
have a shed, and a shed is a necessity because our garage is super small, so like we don't have a place to store anything. So a shed is somewhere down the line.
Right.
And yeah, pool, like what? I think that the smallest pool you can get is like something like 6 or 8 feet, like all
Y
around circumference.
Oh, wait,
Or is it 10 feet?
I'm trying to remember.
Might
People
be
listening
bigger.
wouldn't know that I used to work at a pool store back
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
day, but I don't remember. It's been a minute.
Actually,
I
no, 8 sounds so small.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, bro, 8 feet like circumference, like
Yeah,
that would be microscopic.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to guess
10
that
feet?
I was thinking
10 feet
11,
small.
but you could probably do
11?
like a 10 by 14 or something like that if I had to guess. Yeah, I can't remember exactly how small
I
they can
I
get.
I'm thinking one of those, like, just a circle pool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could get
Yeah.
like a circle or you get an oval. But
Yeah,
yeah, the
yeah.
circle pools, yeah, they can get pretty small. But then there's the jump again from where you buy like the Intex pools you get at Walmart,
Mhm.
and then to like actually having to go and, like dig out
Mhm.
land to be able like a foundation for this pool,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, which that's like then you're into like the thousands for those.
Yeah.
But those Intex pools, you could slap them together for like 200, $400 or something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
those are not worth it.
Yeah, and like you said, you would need to put, like, the rough foundation, which I don't have.
Right,
So,
right, right. Well, yeah, dude, if you're talking about getting a shed, like that's way more on top of the priority list, you know.
oh,
Maybe
yeah.
the pool or some sort of like, side thing that you could have that would be close to a pool. That'd be later down the line, but definitely the shed
Yeah.
would be like prime thing to get.
Yeah, a pool, at least for me, it's not in the future, at least for this house. Maybe one day at another
Yeah.
house, but definitely not this house.
Yeah.
My other neighbors, they have pools and they have like bigger backyards than me and stuff, and they have like
Yeah.
actual pools.
Right, right, right.
So
Yeah, dude,
I
I'll
just got
tell
to
you.
befriend them.
Yeah, right. That's what you got to do. No, I remember like last thing I was mind blown at how expensive in-ground pools are.
Hmm.
Bro, I remember when I started working that job, I had no idea how expensive they were. I was like, oh, maybe they're like 3, 4 grand.
Hmm.
Bro, not even remotely close.
Yeah,
They're like into like, I want to say most of them were north of 10 grand to get
yeah,
an in-ground pool put in. But then when I actually saw the amount of work that needed to go into it, then I realized like, okay, that makes way more
yeah.
sense. You could put up a normal pool in a day,
Hmm.
like any of those other ones. You could do that in like with a good team, like a couple hours, you could do it. But
Hmm.
bro, an in-ground pool ain't no chance.
Yeah,
That's a full-on project, you
yeah.
know.
And think about how much it would be now.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
years ago. I'm
yeah,
sure
bro.
it's like a couple thousand more now, but yeah, it's a lot. Or again, if you live near a beach, then you're good.
Now the only thing I'll say against the pool, and it's for you because you were talking about the electric bill with your ACs,
Mhm.
dude. Back in my house, I used to have a pool when I was growing up, and my dad, bro, he was insane about turning that pool on and off.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if we were just sitting by the pool or hanging out, he's like, turn the filter off, turn it off, turn it off,
Yeah,
turn it
yeah.
off. Anytime we go out there, he's like, all right, turn it back on, you know.
Mhm.
Because if you just left that thing running, oh my god,
Yeah.
it would eat up so much. Yeah, I remember him explaining that to us. But we
Yeah.
were like 12 years old. I'm like, bro, I don't get it. He's like, you don't understand.
Yeah. The
But now I
it
do.
yeah. Everything's just expensive now.
Oh yeah,
That
bro. It's ridiculous.
so
Games are
the
gonna be $80, bro. These consoles are becoming like so expensive. They're talking about the PS6. I'm like, dude, he even knows how
mhm.
much that thing's gonna be costing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you just
It's
gotta
not looking good for us.
you just have to shell out, like, no matter what. So if you guys are younger listening, growing up is overrated.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
like
overrated, dude. It sucks.
it it's nice when if you want something or you wanna do something, you could just do it,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? Like, that's pretty clutch. Like, if I wanted to make pancakes for dinner, I could, like,
Yeah.
no one's gonna stop me. But then if you're like, "Oh, I wanna go to Champs," and then you see how much it costs, and you just think about it, you're like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
You're
Well,
like, "Dude, can someone pay for this for me?" Like
and that's the thing. You can do it. A lot of people do it. Doesn't mean they should do it.
Right, right, right.
But
That's
yeah,
always the dilemma.
if you're younger, enjoy being a child. Just, you know, not a care in the world.
Yeah,
Adult
bro.
stuff sucks. Just
That's
life
always one
happens.
of those things you never realize the good times until they're gone,
Mhm.
you know? Like,
Exactly.
again, we say that all the time. We were thinking about, like, all the times we'd be gaming at my place, like, playing Black Ops 3 or MW3, and we'd be ordering, like, hella food from,
Mhm.
BK, and it would cost us, like, $8,
Yeah.
you know? It's like, dude, those times were dope, but then you think about it now, and you're like, "Oh, man, those are really, really good."
Yeah.
And that's why
And
all this nostalgia stuff is paying off.
yeah. And we're never gonna get those days back.
No,
Like, we
100%.
just did it. We didn't know that was gonna be the last time. Like,
Yeah.
it was the last time at some point.
Well, and I think too, like I was saying before about the whole role of nostalgia. I think that's what people are always trying to do with these new games coming out too. Like we
Mhm.
all had this feeling, like when people compare to Black Ops 2 and all that, like no game will ever be like that again
Mhm.
because we're never going to be like that again. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? We
Exactly.
we were totally different people and like our lives were completely different. Games just don't hit the same. Some games don't hit the same when you're older.
Mhm.
Um like that's what I think about with Black Ops 7. Like I wonder well, and even every year of Call of Duty, I wonder if this is going to be the one that it like speaks to me on another level. I'm like, "Oh, dude, this is the same feeling I had back during the MW3 era," you
Mhm.
know? And everyone's like chasing that, but
Yeah, in every
I don't know
game.
if they're ever gonna yeah, in every
It's
game, but I don't know if it's ever gonna happen.
it's just hard because like you said, the time that we grew up in, we're just kids. We go to school, that's it. Now, like, we're grown ups, we have jobs, like, we have other stuff we have to do outside of work and whatever, and then, uh, when we have free time, we sit down and play games, but the games even have evolved too. Like, you and I like the quick, fast-paced games, but at the same time, we don't like it, like, too twitchy and quick, which I think people our age playing Black Ops 6, they don't like it all that much because, 1, the TTK is too long for them, and it's just so fast for them,
Right.
which you and I have always played quick anyway, so it doesn't really matter to us. And again, we adapt. We don't bitch and complain. We just play, get better. That's all you can do.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know. We never really had like a slow year or like a bad year with COD. I think it was Tyler T Dog on Twitter posted it saying like which was the one year of Call of Duty that you didn't play and go or like played the least. And
Mhm,
you always forget about how many Call of Duties there have been. I
mhm.
mean, just even like on a totally unrelated note about that, you see these, and I think like there's a handful of them. But then when you see the list in front of you, it's like
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And I'm like, I've played all of those.
Mhm.
Every single one of those games I played for a good amount of time. Only one I didn't was IW. That was the only
Yeah.
COD that like I can't even remember if I like actually bought it. I think I borrowed it from my friend
Mhm,
and played for like a couple of hours. But the only reason I wanted to play it was because of COD 4
mhm.
because you had to buy it. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
talked
yeah.
about that before with the bundle on there. That was the only reason I wanted that game. I
Mhm.
barely played it. And now looking back, I'm like, it probably wasn't actually a pretty good game. I should have given it a shot.
Yeah, I never bought that game.
Yeah,
I played it, but I just watched competitive that whole year,
right.
and then, of course, that's the year Optic wins, and I don't play the game.
Right.
Um, and then I would say, like, after that, the most least played COD is probably World War II.
Yeah.
No, I got to 3rd prestige on that, so never mind. It
What about Ghosts?
was probably
Did you play
Ghosts.
Ghosts a lot?
I played Ghosts, but I don't think I ever prestiged in that. I think I just hit like the max level and just stopped.
So, dude, I want to ask you about this because I've seen this now where there's like some random, I don't know if it's my algorithm, but there's some random hype behind Ghosts again. Like people
Mhm.
saying that this game, like looking back on it now, this was an underrated game. Like it was such a good COD. And
That's what
dude,
everyone says about old CODs.
right. But man, I went and played it like a couple of days ago.
Mhm.
Um, and like just for like maybe like half an hour. But dude, that game was that's actually really fun. Like it was weird going back and
Mhm.
playing that game. But I haven't played it in 10 years and realized I'm like, damn, this game is actually pretty good. And that is a game too where I did not play it that much. I think I maybe got to about second prestige on it.
Mhm.
I really didn't play it a lot. But dude, it is so different than like the CODs that we have now. We always say that, but then when you actually play it, I was like, Jesus Christ, you know. And of
Mhm.
course, I'm playing on like a normal DualShock, like PS3 controller, which was even worse.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know if I agree or disagree with the Ghost hype. All of a sudden, I think people they start getting nostalgic for these games when the new title releases. You know.
Yeah, I mean, again, I didn't really play it all that much, and at the time, I didn't really like it. It was good to watch for competitive. I watched a lot of competitive during that era, but I didn't really play. I didn't enjoy the game.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I don't know. I would have to go back and play it now and see if that changes compared to some of the games now. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just want to go back and play older games after it's the time of the year again. You know, the new COD is getting leaked. The trailer's already out,
Hmm.
and people want to go back. Like I could go back and play World War II. My opinion will not change about that game, most likely. Like
Right.
I at least I put in time for the most part in each game for me to have an opinion on. I gave that game like a fair shot, and I just didn't like it. But watching competitive for that, like again, it was fine. It wasn't the best, but I enjoyed watching it more than playing it because pubs in that game were just so boring, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a big difference for us, right? Is trying to play the game versus watching the game. You know,
Hmm.
because I enjoyed watching MW3. I thought it was a fun game to watch competitively, but
Hmm.
playing it, I didn't like at all, you
Yeah.
know. And but this game, it's kind of different. Like I enjoy playing Black Ops 6, and I
Hmm.
do like watching it. But the difference between those two is nowhere near as much as, like I said, from last year. Last year, I way preferred watching the game than playing it.
Yeah, yeah. We need both to mix
I
when we enjoy playing it. Well, I'll say that we need to enjoy playing it competitively, but it has to be good in pubs. There's a huge difference between playing it competitively in pubs. Because I would say like MW2, you and I played a lot of ranked, and MW2 ranked was way more fun than just pubs. So if we can get all of that lined up, then it would be perfect.
Yeah, and that's obviously the hardest thing to do, right? Trying to get it all just, streamlined. The thing that
Mhm.
I want is after watching competitive Call of Duty, I want to go and play the game. Like that's
Mhm.
how I know they've got it going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, when I go and watch Black Ops 6, I do get a little bit excited about trying to play it,
Mhm.
especially if I haven't played it for a little bit.
Mhm.
But yeah, when back in the MW3 day, dude, I had no desire. Like I would just only enjoy watching it. Like I'd be watching champs,
Mhm.
and watching Optic win it, and I'm still over here like I've got no I don't really give a damn about this game anymore.
Mhm.
But maybe watching champs for Black Ops 6, it might get me back into like wanting to grind like the rest of the year out on it and
Mhm.
play it. But I don't know. I mean, dude, we're in this weird like this weird time right now where we've had a long time since we last were watching the CDL. Like,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
been a month or
yeah,
3, yeah, a month.
it's very weird.
Yeah.
They've really got to fix this going forward, man. I mean, like we're gonna go and talk about the champs bracket for sure because we're gonna make our predictions before it all starts. But I've seen a lot of people talking about it online. I saw Ben Nassim talking about it too, where there's a real lack of promotion for this.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's
Y
unbelievable,
You and
you
I already
know?
we talked about that a little. I think last episode
Yeah.
where when Activision or not Activision, well probably, but Treyarch, they're putting up ads now everywhere of buy this weapon camo, buy this bundle. When Champs is happening, like Champs should be splattered everywhere on the home screen. Like when you load up the game, the schedule's this, like go buy packs for these teams, and there's nothing.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous. Like I don't get what they're trying to do here. I mean, I saw people saying on there, that they don't care,
Mm-hmm.
and Ben got pissed off about it. And it's like I do understand that, of course, they care enough to have made the league and do all of this, but there is a level of commitment and follow through that you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for the biggest tournament of the year, for them to now be talking about it, like I think it was maybe on Monday or Tuesday of this week that I saw the first tweet from the league just saying like, "Oh, you excited for this round one match, the Thieves and Breach match?"
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it, I was like, "Oh shit! Like that's this week."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, it's next week." Okay. I'm like, "So what are we really going to be doing to hype us up here for 2 weeks?" Like, dude, they should have been doing a whole bunch more stuff instead of just the now we say goodbye to the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Now we say goodbye. Like, did you see those posts
Yeah.
every once
Yeah.
in a while? They'd make them. Yeah, I thought it
Yeah.
was kind of weak.
They I mean, clearly they're understaffed too. Like the CDL, they need more people to run, all their social media accounts because they should be posting every single day, just leading up to champs, like content or something. I will say this year, I think they've done a pretty good job in terms of content and like interviewing players afterwards and things like that. But yeah, they should be pushing champs way more than what they're even doing now. And when people say that, they don't Call of Duty doesn't care about the league, like I get where Ben's coming from to an extent because obviously they have the league for a reason. It's just the level of effort that they're not putting into there. And maybe it's because they don't have enough resources. But it could just be like a team of like 5 to 10 people or whatever trying to get this done and it's not enough people to get it done.
Right.
So, and people have to fight for it too. They should be pushing like, hey, this needs to be, put out now. Like it's the biggest event of the year. We need to be, pushing all of this.
Yeah, and I don't know why they haven't. If it's just a lack of, initiative, like that no one's really stepped up and decided to do it, or they don't have a lot to talk about. So that's why they're just trying to space it out as best as
Mhm.
they can
And
until leading up
yeah,
to this.
and if they don't have enough to talk about, they need to be making content. Like they should be prepared for that. Like they should
Yeah,
be making
totally.
content with these players. Like they should be asking all the teams like interview questions like what does champs mean to you? Like what will you do if you win champs? How much does this mean to you to win it with this team? Stuff like that. That will
Right.
fill a whole month of content like easily getting
Oh
into
yeah.
champs. And then right before champs release like, a hype like montage of the 8 teams going to champs.
Yeah, there's a lot of ideas like that they could just easily do. And they could do that, I don't know, anytime in the season. I mean, I
Hmm.
probably if they have like some sort of dedicated media day before the season or like during a break, that they
Hmm.
should just go and bang the stuff out. Cause like you said, they could ask each of them 5, 6 questions. And then for, 6 questions per person, in the whole league. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, it's content for days that they could be
Yeah.
using all the time. Um, Especially when they have these down periods like they've got right now, it'd be perfect to just help supplement it and make people remember that, oh yeah, champs is coming up. Um, yeah, this is definitely one of the weirder years I would feel for champs where like people kind of have an idea of what's going to happen at champs.
Hmm.
But also again, just this lack of promotion and the event, like where it is too. I think has really hurt it. Like I don't know how many people are super hyped on champs.
Yeah. And it's it's at Toronto this year, which is apparently like a really, really good venue. Everyone enjoys that major. So that is good. But again, a lack of promo. It's been a month and we haven't heard anything about champs. And, they just need to do a better job at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think they got to use it as a learning curve, and I mean, hopefully, if the league is around in the next couple of years, I mean, they could go and step it up and try
Mhm.
to learn from these mistakes. But I really think it's a combo of all the things I said before, and then again, the state of the game. People just aren't really hyped on it right now. There's not when you go on and watch, any of the big Warzone streamers or any like just the big Call of Duty guys. Really, no one's playing the game anymore.
Mhm.
Because of all the issues that we've talked about, all the hacking and cheating
Mhm.
that's still going on, and rank being broken. A lot of people really don't want to play. And I think because ranked is in such a like it's in complete disarray, no one's really thinking about the game competitively.
Mhm. Yeah.
Everyone's just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm a fan of it. But yeah, I used to play
Mhm.
ranked and then this happened. So there's really nothing to play for anymore,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know?
And that's more of a reason for the CDL to make content and, like, push it if people aren't playing ranked,
Oh
like,
yeah,
they
thousand
have
percent.
they have to gain traction for
Yeah.
this event, and I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that they need to do in terms of content and stuff. Like, I understand, you don't know the full 8 teams until it's locked after Major 4,
Right.
obviously, and but they do now, and, the intro videos and stuff before every major, like, of all the teams, all
Yeah.
that stuff's done, like, within a couple of days because they all record it all in one day, essentially, and then
Right.
they just throw it together really quick, with the whole team, obviously, but that's a lot of work, like, in a very short time frame, so I understand it, but the CDL, I don't know if it's possible, but they should go to every team that's, you know, at champs and ask their media team, like, hey, I don't know if it's a contract or whatever, but like, go record, these questions, interview these players, send it to us. We'll jam, these videos together. And then they don't have enough resources, obviously, to go to every single team and record them, but utilize the media team of all 8 teams.
Right, right. That would make perfect sense for them to do. And I wouldn't think it'd be that difficult for those media teams on the teams to be able to do it.
Mhm.
And just ask those quick questions. Like if they have dedicated, like we know Optic does, they have those dedicated media days or content
Mhm.
days. If they need it by a certain deadline, those guys would just know, okay, hey, we got to do this stuff really quick because the CDL needs it for promo stuff.
Mhm.
And they can have someone on their end edit it. Uh, yeah, just a lot of small basic things that they could do,
Mhm.
to just get the word out and get people more excited for it. Um, I mean, I'm always excited for champs. It's gonna be a good event. Like I'm excited to talk about it and go over the bracket. Um, but I think it's just a shame because again, it's always like this what if, the game
Mhm.
could have been a little bit better. These guys could have been promoting this stuff a little bit more. Um, Optic couldn't have not been shit this year. So
Yeah.
like if we had a third horse in the race, then I think it would be even more exciting. But um I have a strong feeling that this is going to be another Thieves and FaZe grand finals here. I think one
Yeah.
of those guys is going to be world champions here. I would be absolutely mind blown if it's not one of them.
Yeah. I'm with you. And the last thing I'll say about the CDL, they've left a bad taste in all of these orgs' mouths, obviously.
Hmm.
So what we were just talking about, the media stuff, like let's say Optic, for example, right? If the CDL asked them for content, I'm sure they would be like, yeah, sure. But in their heads, obviously, right, every org would be like, but we want to post that. Like that's
Right,
our content and our team. Why do we need to send to the CDL?
right,
Now, if the CDL treated every org right and it was in contracts or whatever, be like, look, you guys have to do this for us because you're part of the league. But it's, the org should be happy to do it for them
right,
because they should all be working together. But the CDLs, hurt every org so far. So I understand where the orgs are coming from. If that happened and the CDL asked them to do something, they'd be like, no, this is our content. Like we're gonna
right.
post it for our stuff, our brand, because we have to grow it. Uh, and their argument would be like, well, the CDL has to go out of their way and like get content of every other player. They shouldn't rely on the teams to go do it, the orgs to do it.
Right, right. I see that. Those teams definitely would feel burned. I mean, they have been burned already
Yeah,
in the past here.
all of
So
them.
then having to go and do more stuff on
Yeah.
their behalf, yeah, I could see it being a problem for sure. there'd have to be some sort of compensation for them, right?
Well,
Like,
at this point, yeah, but realistically, they shouldn't because they're part of the league.
oh,
The
right,
CDL should just have a better relationship with all these orgs, but
right.
they
At the end
don't.
of the day, that's what we're talking about. Yeah,
Exactly. They need a better relationship in general. But so that's the point. We got champs coming up this week, Mike.
I know, dude.
And, we were talking about it's probably going to be FaZe or Thieves winning this. I know it's been a month since the last major. So it's probably going to be the same outcome again because we only have 8 teams this time instead of all 12. And which I will say they need to have more teams. It's just weird only having 8, and I say this every year. I understand why, because you want to, have high stakes for it. Like you need to play well through the whole year, so then you can qualify for champs. But it's not. It's just not a lot of matches. There's not a lot of room for, uh, like multiple matches within the day.
Yeah, and there's people that would argue, well, what's the point? Because those bottom 4 teams, they were trash anyway throughout
Yeah.
the year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they shouldn't. They one don't deserve a spot, and 2 they're just going to get eliminated right off the bat. The first part, I guess you could make an argument for that. Yeah, whether they deserve it or not, sure. But the whole idea for me is, dude, if these teams show up and like again, those bottom 4, they've got nothing to lose. They've lost all year. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
fuck, we're probably gonna lose this match anyway. Dude, that's when those underdog stories come in. And
Mm-hmm.
those teams come in with huge upsets and then they make everything interesting. I get if you're a player who gets upset, like say if you're, Miami and you end up losing to Falcons.
Yeah.
I could understand you being pissed, but
You should have played better.
you should I
You,
mean,
you
you
know.
said it, not me. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
you got to be ready. It's champs, dude. Anything could happen at champs, and that's
Mm-hmm.
even still with the 8 people. That's the way it's going to be. There could,
Yeah.
there
Yeah. Yeah.
could, and probably would be some upsets.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do agree there should be all 12 teams there. Or again, if you wanted to have 16 teams and cut the other 4,
Exactly. Yeah.
that would be ideal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just to make this bracket a bit more fuller and hopefully have the chance for some upsets.
Yeah. I don't mind uh the elimination of the 4 teams, like not making it, because I do like how you need to secure points to make it into the bracket.
Right.
But obviously, EWC is going to have all 12 teams. So, does it really matter for those other teams? Like, we'll see, right? It's basically another chance for those guys to go in and potentially, win something or not. But yeah, so we're going to pull up the bracket and just walk through our predictions and see what happens because Champs is going to be happening the Thursday that you guys are watching. So
yeah, which is, dude, again, it's just insane to think that we're really coming to the end of the year here. I mean, obviously we have EWC afterwards, which I can't
another
remember.
month later.
Yeah, right. It's one more month. I don't know. This Black Ops 6 year just felt really short and like incomplete. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just feels it's a very odd year, like for us, and then for just like the league. I don't know. I think really because Optic and a lot of these weird teams happened, and it just seems like there wasn't a lot of COD. You know,
Well,
it's
it
very
was
strange.
it was also one less major again, one less major, and then another month break into champs, and then okay, yeah, COD's technically Black Ops 6 is technically over, but then we got another month break, and then we got EWC, and then it's really over.
Right,
It's just so weird.
right. And then the league starts up again, and I don't even know when. I mean, what Black Ops 7's coming out probably in October, November.
Yeah,
If I had to guess,
and
sometime
then
around then.
the league will start in January, unless they
Yeah.
start a little earlier again. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but for now, we got champs. We got these 8 teams.
And this is nice
We'll
too.
walk through this.
Side note, it's nice because this is it's not like first round elimination. So any of these matches that go on here, they have to go into losers bracket, I guess, or like elimination round 1. So
Yeah.
these
They
matches,
have a
like
couple
we're looking at
eliminations.
that. Yeah, we've got that Thieves breach match.
Yeah.
I mean, long live the Breach, but we know where that's going. But it's not
Yeah,
the end
yeah.
of the
Oh,
world for Breach, though. Off the rip,
yeah.
if it was any other major, I would be so pissed. But I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's not going to be that bad.
And 2 at EWC single elim. So, you have all 12 teams, but you only got one shot.
Right. So
So we'll go,
watch us start off against Thieves at EWC, bro.
dude.
I'm
That would,
gonna flip.
dude. Well,
I'm gonna
okay.
be so pissed.
We'll predict here. There we go.
Yes.
We get,
That's
unfortunately,
gonna be a
this is just
3-1
awful,
probably.
dude.
Yeah. We really
Yeah.
couldn't have started any worse. I think the only team that we could really beat in this, if I'm being real, is Carolina. That's the only team that I would feel relatively confident with us beating right now.
hmm
Um,
Yeah. So Thieves will move on. Breach will drop down to elimination round 1. This is what happens when you finish 8th, dude. You finish 8th in seeding.
you
Like,
get fucked.
you get screwed. You got to be in the mid pack. If you're in the mid
Yeah.
pack of this, you're not completely screwed.
Right.
Surge Heretics. This is another interesting match because I could see it going either way, but also, like, right, all we can really think about is the last major because, again, it's been over a month. So
Right.
we haven't seen any of these guys play scrim or anything. If I am deciding based off of like what we've seen, like the last major, I'm gonna say Heretics is winning this.
I would agree with you on that. I think Heretics, again, if my memory's correct, Heretics was definitely on the up. Surge had a really weird major, right? They bowed out right at the beginning of it or very early on. They fell.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think just the sign of that happening is not good. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, I really kind of chalk it up to like, yeah, they just had a bad match. They played poorly that day. But from then, Miami was on a high. Who knows if that high's still going right now? I have no idea. Like
Mhm.
maybe Surge, like that team has just been putting a ton of time in the lab and getting better. Like I know Neptune, he was always talking about how he's grinding like an insane amount. If that
Mhm.
dude pops off, with the whole team, of course, but especially him, if he goes into like prime Neptune here, they could do it. But I think Miami's probably gonna pull through, and then we get another amazing. We get Heretics and Thieves matchup, which is gonna always good.
Mhm. Yeah. But what we're gonna get a FaZe Optic matchup, which we haven't gotten at Champs in a while. Fortunately, I think Optic is gonna lose this because FaZe is FaZe.
Yeah,
Optic's streak right now, you can't guarantee anything.
yeah. There's no way. As I said, there's no way, but
Yeah.
it's very unlikely that Optic all of a sudden comes out and does amazing. Um, I want Optic to win that.
Mhm.
Just for the story, and the morale, of course, of that team, because we don't have to talk too much about it, but I'm pretty sure that team's not going to be sticking after this year.
Mhm.
They're for sure going to be making some moves. I'd also assume after EWC they make all those changes, but I would hope that they have a relatively decent run here at Champs and not get absolutely obliterated, that's a definite possibility.
Yeah. And Optic right now, right? It's just so weird having a month off, literally just not watching any of these guys. We haven't seen anything. So yeah, Optic could beat FaZe. Like there's, a real possibility where Optic they've been practicing so much and scribbing and they look really good. And maybe FaZe just hasn't fixed their hard point and they can't win. And
Right,
Optic
right.
somehow do it. So but we're going with what we know right now. So
Can you
FaZe is
imagine
definitely winning.
if in this time Optic has just been on another level
Mm-hmm.
and they show
Mm-hmm.
up to this and they're like completely back in form? I
I
mean,
mean, that'd be
dude, I
that'd be the
wish
perfect
that
time.
happened. Oh, I want that to happen so bad just because I
Mhm.
like Optic, but again, just for the story and like the turnaround of his terrible year.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I have no idea what these teams have been doing in the past month here. Some of them might have just been sitting like playing Rocket League and not even like scrimming or barely playing. And some
Mhm.
teams could have been putting in a ton of time. I got no idea. But Yeah, it's a safe bet FaZe wins this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that'd be great if Optic just they came out and just they won
Smoked them.
everything. Yeah, this is a major or like the tournament that you want to turn up in. So
Yeah.
realistically, all the other ones, yeah, they do matter, but this is the one you want to win.
Right.
Um,
For the next one, though, Ultra Ravens, same thing. I think this is a pretty obvious one. I
yeah,
would say that Ultra is going to win this. Again, Carolina, dude, they've just been on the struggle bus ever since they dropped our boy Reese Vivid. That's been the end of that team. They've never looked
yeah,
the same. I think they need to go pick up Reese Vivid,
dude, yeah.
bring him back just
It
to,
looks like they all gave up. Like
yeah.
it's this roster, they're just playing through champs, and then they'll probably stick together with EWC, maybe. Uh, and then this team's breaking up after this year, 100%.
Yeah, and this team's such a shame too because one, they definitely got into this spot because of their early placements, right? I mean, they
Hmm.
were. It's crazy to think we were saying that Ravens were a top 3 team
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year because they were. But the drop off from this team has just been unbelievable. I mean,
Hmm.
not as bad as Optic, but it's been pretty bad.
Hmm.
They were almost there, fighting and holding third, and then once Surge came in Miami, I mean, they just completely fell apart. And
Hmm.
I think it's they're here because of that. If they didn't if they played the way they did in the last couple of majors, I don't know if they'd be making it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then back to winners round two. Dude, Thieves, Heretics. I'm gonna say Thieves are winning this because
You got to,
yeah, like
you got to.
Heretics won that one time, right? At Major Four. And then you know what happened when they played them again? Thieves smoked them. They
Yeah.
didn't even blink.
And we've got the beef too between who is it Super on that team? Is he the guy
Yeah.
that with Super and Scrap?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is exciting. So
Mhm.
I think Heretics could win this, of course. It is possible, but like you said, based off that revenge match that Thieves had,
Mhm.
I think they kind of forever have their number. I'll be thoroughly impressed if Heretics beat them in that one.
Yeah. They match up really well to Thieves, which is, every year there's always a couple teams where it looks really lopsided, but those players just match up so well against the other like four players. And
Right.
this Thieves and Heretics matchup, they definitely match up really well together. But Thieves definitely have an edge on them.
Right, for sure. Yeah, I
So,
agree.
yeah, and then next we got FaZe Ultra. This one's interesting because it really depends what Ultra we get, like that day, because they can beat FaZe, but if we're being consistent about this, I think FaZe is gonna win this. Ultra bowed out pretty early last major too. Um, So I'm gonna have to go with my gut and just say FaZe. But I do see a world where Ultra could upset FaZe.
Yeah, it could for sure happen. For Ultra, it really depends on how Joe Deceives plays. If he comes out and is absolutely frying, that guy has the ability to kind of carry some players
Hmm.
on his team. But I would also say too a big X factor on that team is going to be Beans.
Yeah,
Really depends on how he does because unfortunately he's been one of the weaker players that they've had. Like I think ever since he couldn't play at what was it? Was it Major 3 he couldn't play at?
yeah,
Yeah, something like that, and Mercury's had to step in and sub for him. Um, I think ever since then, it's been kind of tough for him to bounce back and really be on the level of where they need to be. If
hmm
those guys are doing well, it's going to be a really close match. But um, yeah, if they're not, FaZe is going to win this pretty easily. I don't think it'll be too difficult for them.
yeah. And Ultra too, right? There you go. They are in such a weird spot because, like you said, Beans has to turn up, and if they get eliminated early at champs, I have a feeling there will be a roster change. going maybe going actually no, probably not into EWC. After EWC, I think there will be a roster change with this team. Um like I think Ultra looked really, really good with Merc because of his play style and how it matched up with Insight's Jamie's play style. I think Insight needs to speed it up a bit more with Beans on the team because when he was speeding it up, like his gameplay, they looked great.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just so slow on the map. I mean, I get that's how he plays and it usually works, but in this game, he looks better when he plays faster.
Yeah, I would agree. That's like the X factor for that team is having that. And to your point before, I would be very surprised if this team sticks together, unless if they get a top 3,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. But I don't know what they do. They for sure uh keep Joe Deceives, and then from there it's like I mean I would imagine that you keep what's his name? Why am I totally blanking on
Linux.
Kleenex? Yeah, you keep Kleenex. The other
Mm-hmm.
two are kind of your question marks. Um, and again, it all depends on really how well those guys do individually at this.
Yeah.
And those are the two guys that most of the time we're worried about performance wise. You don't see a lot of like bad series from Joe Deceives or Kleenex.
Mm-hmm.
But the other two, yeah, it's going to be on them. If they're doing well, they'll make a good run. But
Yeah.
if not, it might end in elimination round 2 here. It very well could.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, and now we got what Breach Surge, dude. This is another matchup where these guys match up so well against each other, but Surge just have an edge on Boston. I
Every
don't
time.
know what it is. Boston will play them really close, like regardless of the scoreboard. If you watch the matches for the most part, they're pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Man,
tough.
this is
Like,
when you get breached like this, dude, up in the top 8,
mhm.
these matchups are really hard for them,
Yeah,
straight up.
super tough. And they from recent history, they've always gone like double first rounded in situations like this. Again, like my heart, I want Breach to win because they can. They definitely can with the players that they have. But on paper, Surge just has an edge on them. So I'm going to say Surge wins this. But a lot of it really depends on Snoop. Like Snoopy just has to go off. And he has been. Not recently, but before going into Major 4, like he was playing great.
Yeah.
And yeah, all 4 of those guys just need to be working well off each other. So I'm gonna say Surge. I think you're gonna say Surge too.
Yeah,
But
I could
you
see
know,
this going game 5 too. I mean, it
yeah,
totally
I
could.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, listen, we don't harp too much on breach, but this has been their problem like since what major 2 going to
yeah.
the end of the year here. And I probably even say that like the qualifiers, excuse me, for major 3, where they at the beginning of the year they were in the same kind of situation as Carolina, not as good, but they were like right in that realm of they could beat Miami, they could beat Surge, they could have close matches with all the teams in the middle there. Um, but the drop off from them it was the same thing. It's just they've now fallen into this realm where yeah, they're better than the bottom 4 teams, but if we're calling it real, they're really not better than these top 8 teams here, like the other 7 teams that are in here. Other than I would really say like Carolina is the
Mhm.
only team that they could probably confidently beat. The other teams, it's just every
It's gonna be a
every
battle.
team you look at. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's going to be an insane battle. Like that Thieves Breach one. I mean Thieves like it depends on how they take that. If they take it lightly, Breach could take
Mhm.
advantage. But this is champs. Like that's not happening. None of these teams are coming in lightly.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, right. That's a hope. You would think that because I mean, what was it? Major. I think it was Major 3. We were like, oh yeah, Breach Thieves again. Breach isn't going to have a chance against Thieves. Then they come out and knock out Thieves into
right,
losers.
right.
So again, these guys can do it, but we just have to go with what we know on paper so far. And Surge just has an edge on Breach. Um, but if Surge play like they did last major, there's a chance that they get eliminated early.
Yeah.
So really all depends if Breach shows up or not. So
So with that, we say goodbye to the Boston Breach, Justin.
Yep.
It was a good run, but they got dealt a shitty hand as per usual. But
Mm-hmm.
again, there's only so much you can do with it at this point.
That
You know, it's like
that's a
the
tough
hand's the
part.
hand.
They put themselves in that situation. Like, I mean,
Exactly.
we finished 8th in seeding when we should have finished like 5th or 6th.
Right. And he
So
said, didn't we get double first rounded and what major was it was a couple of majors, didn't we?
yeah, I mean, in general, Breach, I feel like they always get double first rounded,
Yeah.
or at Champs last
Yeah.
year they did too. So
Right. So I'm hoping that we could break the cycle at champs, but the
mhm.
way that we just had this bracket ain't no chance. That's exactly how it's going down again.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
no, sorry. I need to correct myself. Not Champs last year. They didn't make Champs last year.
they- Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah.
Rub
Just
salt in the
gotta
wound.
just gotta make sure.
So
Breach's best placement is 3rd at like any major. Which, I
yeah,
mean, that's a good placement, but dude,
that
there were
was with what was that? That was Zinni, yeah. Wasn't he on the team? It wasn't that like an
uh
was that in a Vanguard year that they placed that well? I want to
it was either Vanguard or MW2.
it. Okay, then well, I it had to have been Vanguard then I think because that was a good team. That was Nero, Methods, Capsidal, and who was their fourth player?
Tej.
Yeah, Tej.
Was Tej?
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah, like that was a solid team. I think it was the Vanguard year that they got third. Um, but
I can't
I mean,
remember
hey,
the year, but
if they want to look at the positive here, I mean, hey, this year they did make it to champs, so that's a plus. You know,
yeah.
they did actually attend the event.
Mhm.
Um, I hope it doesn't go this way for them, but if it does, you could at least take that away that you did play this event, unlike the other 4 teams that didn't even get invited to it.
Mhm. So, we'll see
We'll
what
see.
happens. I
We'll see.
obviously you and I want Breach to win this.
Yeah, it's tough talking about him, bro. It really is. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, damn. I look over here and I got my breach posters up on the wall, and here I
Oh
am
yeah.
talking smack. But it's like, dude, you know, I got to be a realist here.
They they have beaten these best teams, but it's
Right.
just when they're all clicking. So they gotta all click.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's gonna be like the next match here. Like the Royal Ravens, brother. These
Dude,
guys got to wake up. Like
dude.
if
They do
it,
have to wake up, but I'm gonna say Optics winning this because right on paper.
yeah.
But if there's a match where it's gonna go game 5, I think this is gonna be a match where it goes game 5. I
hmm
think it's gonna happen. Because for whatever reason, when Optic is backs against a wall in something like this, it goes to game 5.
Bro,
And dude, Slasher, Thanos is gonna be like, you know what? I'm not going out like this. I'm gonna knock them out.
yeah. That's kind of what I want is for it.
Mhm.
I know it sounds so shitty saying that about Optic, but it would be insane if Slasher, like you said, just absolutely throws it down and he wills his way with him and Teach.
Mhm.
And you know, we get a Dylan Rex masterclass at champs.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, that would be really cool. If like more than likely, I agree. Optic's going to win this, which is a real shame for Ravens and those players on that team. You know, we can't ever say right, but I don't know what's going to happen with Slasher. You know, he looked good this year. Like he didn't play poorly or anything.
Mhm.
Excuse me. He was just in a bad team situation there towards the end, and you know who knows really what happened to them. But if he continues or not, uh, that you know who knows. If he doesn't, that would really suck. That this is how he ends his career, you know, or at EWC he ends it there.
Yeah.
Um,
Give us one more year, Austin. One more. Just
right.
Black Ops 7.
Like the
That's the
guys on
goal.
Optic ain't going anywhere. Like they're all going to be here next year. But
Yeah.
Slasher, you know, we got some question
Yeah.
marks. We don't know.
One more. I just want to see one more year with this guy.
Yeah, I know. Me
And
too.
because he, like you said, he was the best player on their team. And that shouldn't be happening.
No, no. That's a travesty.
Yeah. So we're gonna say Optics winning this, but if there's a game that's going to game 5, I'm saying it's this matchup right here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the underdogs, like it means something to them, you know?
Right.
It's like when
Yeah.
I forgot what Gorillas played some top team uh last qualifier going into Major 4. Like they're already eliminated from champs, and I forget who they beat, but
I thought it was it Optic.
was it Optic? Maybe it was Optic.
I thought it was because I thought that was like I don't really know. But
I can't
I could have
remember.
sworn it was because that was I mean, dude, they also lost to Falcons too. Like that was they were like hitting
Yeah,
bottom of the barrel there. Um, but yeah, I can't actually remember now how it
yeah.
would
Either
go.
way, there's something to be said about the teams that have nothing to lose
Yeah,
anymore. Like they're gonna
yeah,
come out and they want to upset.
yeah, for sure. And like again, they have nothing to lose. Like Optics kind of in that boat right now too, which is unbelievable to say. I mean, they've just been terrible all year. This is going to be, it's going to go down in history. One of the worst years they've ever had.
Mhm,
Um, and that they're going to champs now and they're like, well, screw it. You know, what can we really do here? Like if we bow out, well, that's what everyone expected us to do.
mhm,
But if they make a run and they get, a decent placing, um, it'd be good morale boost for them.
mhm.
But that being
Yep,
said, this is a very tough match that they've got going on here. Again, I really do think the way this optic bracket has worked out for us so far, I do believe that's how it's going to go. I think they would
mhm.
win they'll lose to FaZe, beat Carolina, and then yeah, if they end up playing Heretics, ah, I mean,
Yeah.
the heart wants to say optic wins this, but again, like we're saying here 1,000 times, the statistics is Heretics, dude. I got them winning this.
Heretics match up really good against Optic too.
Yeah.
They always match up well against
Hmm.
Optic. How for some reason Heretics match up against the top 3 teams.
Right.
Like Thieves, FaZe, and Optic. Like top fan base teams, I'll say.
Right. Right. Yeah, but I think even with that, I think it'll be a good match.
Mhm.
Optic will definitely take a map on them, but I think at the end, Heretics they're gonna move on in that one, and I think that is where Optic's major comes to an end. Unfortunately,
I
I think it's
I
just too strong at the top.
I agree. If Optic can make a run, I think it's going to be this path right here, but it's going to be brutal. Like they're going to go
Hmm.
through the gauntlet. It's going to be really, really close games. And yeah, either they're getting eliminated round 2 here or they're making it to round 3, possibly close to, elimination finals and probably getting knocked out there. I think
Right.
that's the farthest that they'll get. Obviously, anything can happen, but yeah, Optic, like you said, they in terms of their placings and stuff and how they've looked, they don't have anything to lose. But with the green wall behind them, they have everything to lose because no matter
Right.
what, they're going into every event as a fan favorite. So they need to show up,
Yeah.
and we'll see if that actually happens or not. But with Ultra and Surge, will be a good matchup because I think they are pretty even for the most part.
Yeah, this is really a battle of which players have the pop off,
Hmm.
right? Like if Neptune is doing his thing um, and is kind of undeniable, it's going to be them. But if Joe Deceives can answer, and like I said before, same thing with Kleenex, like if that duo can really pop off
Hmm.
and, kind of go into that takeover mode, I think it's going to be them.
Yeah,
Um, this match really can go either way.
it's kind of a
Uh,
coin flip match.
yeah,
Yeah,
I would say so, but I would just imagine that Surge is still going to take this.
yeah,
Um,
I'm with you.
but yeah, I mean, who knows, man? Surge did
They
get like
did.
early elimed at the last one here, and Ultra
Hmm.
made the run. Um, but Ultra really only did that because Surge got eliminated. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
that they Surge getting eliminated early made the path way easier for Ultra. So they've got
Hmm.
a real test here to see if they can do it. But
Yeah.
I think
I
Surge will take this.
yeah, I'm gonna say Surge too because I don't think they're gonna allow that to happen 2 events in a row because they
Yeah,
just got double first rounded Major 4. Like they got eliminated so early, and
right.
for that to happen again, I mean that'd be awesome. That Breach was the one to eliminate them again, and send them home. But I don't think these guys are playing around, and they're gonna let that happen again. So
Right.
I am with you with Surge. So let's do Surge Heretics before we get to winners finals.
Yeah, and this has been the top 4 pretty much like all year. This is what it's
Mm-hmm.
been. It's been Thieves and FaZe and Surge and Heretics. So, it's coming. I think it's going to come down to this. Again, if history would repeat itself properly here, but who knows? I kind of hope we're completely wrong.
Yeah, me too. The Surge Heretics match, again, it's who shows up. Is this going to be Surge's time? Like, they've placed second so many times this year, and obviously got eliminated early last major. And Heretics has just been pretty consistent. They've been like on the up and up
Or is
every
this
time.
Miami's time, Justin? That's what I don't know.
That's a thing.
I'm going with it's Miami's time.
You think it's Miami's time?
Yeah, dude. I think
I
so, bro.
I think it's Surge. So
Damn.
I think Surge is coming back. But I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter what outcome it is because they're going to lose anyways.
Let's do let's do Surge then. Let's do Surge for the culture. They finally are like they can almost taste it. They're
They
right
can,
there.
yeah. They play second so many times. My
Right.
thing is, I think Surge will put up a better fight than Miami against a Thieves or FaZe.
Yeah.
Because every time Heretics match up against Thieves, besides that one time, like they're just gonna get slapped.
Right.
Granted, Surge have to. So again,
Now,
not like it matters.
how do you
And
think Oh
yeah.
no, you finish your thought.
No, I was gonna say, but I hope these two teams prove me completely wrong. Like, if one of these teams do make it to grand finals, which would be insane, please do not get swept.
Right.
Like, whether it's Thieves or FaZe you're playing, because it's going to be one of those teams, don't get swept.
Yeah, dude, that's all we can ask for, right? All we want is a good grand finals here
Mm-hmm.
where I'm relatively excited about the teams playing.
I want it to be
Um,
competitive.
yeah, I mean, dude, we got teased with that major one
Yeah.
performance with Thieves and FaZe. I mean, that was just one of the best matches that you'll ever see in a COD grand finals.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything after that, it was like we got what was it after that? Was it FaZe and Surge or Thieves and Surge or something like that? It
It
was
was
one of
FaZe
the
and Surge.
Yeah, and they got
Yeah.
annihilated, and then with just
Mm-hmm.
the last one that we had, Thieves pretty much blew FaZe out of the water. It's like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
I need another major one to hit me here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I need a game 7.
I know that's what I need. Round 11 on the line.
Yeah.
Now what do you think about the winners finals for Thieves and FaZe?
I mean, this is again every single bracket that we've made so far. It's a tough one. It's like Thieves just won the last major, so I'm gonna go with Thieves winning and making it into grand finals. But
Same.
Thieves just look hot, obviously. But this is FaZe at champs. But I'm
Right.
I'm still gonna go with Thieves because they won the last major, and they're hungry for this. Both of these teams have won 2 majors so far. If
Yeah.
one of them can close out this champs, this is going to be a fantastic year for them.
Right. Right.
Or
Yeah.
Miami or Surge show up and they beat both of these guys.
Bro, okay, if that happened, I would love it. I
Yeah.
mean, I would be so happy if, like, you imagine if Miami won champs or Surge won champs. I mean, it would just be one of the greatest things ever.
It would be crazy because that just means these other teams just didn't show up.
Right.
And I'm not going to say they're the best in the world that year. They got really lucky.
Yeah,
But they showed up that day.
right. Oh, yeah. No, exactly.
Like Thieves and FaZe were the best 2 teams that year, and they didn't show up. It's like in World War II when EG won champs, and I was like, "How this
Right.
random ass team just won champs?"
Exactly. Yeah. It's just how the bracket played out and how everyone was doing that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying, and you're right. Yeah, if Heretics ended up winning, like you're crazy to say that Heretics was the best team in Black Ops 6. It was
Yeah,
clearly has always been Thieves and FaZe have been just, I think right now, aren't they even on like
yeah,
on the wins and everything?
yeah.
Yeah. So it just
Which
comes down to this. It's like if FaZe wins champs, like they were the best and Thieves were
mhm.
second, or vice versa.
And if both of them lose, oh man, if I was one of those players, I'd be
Oh
so
my
pissed
god.
because you can't clearly say that you were the best team.
Right. Right.
You can't.
But
And then Surge or Miami are just they win champs. They're just the random teams.
yeah, bro, it'd be hilarious if Thieves and FaZe they get knocked out early, and it's like we have a Surge and Optic grand finals or some nonsense.
That
And Thieves and FaZe like they got early elim. They're like, bro, we know we were the best team.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. They're
and
just tied
every
2-2.
yeah, exactly. It's like everybody knew they were the best.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I have that too, though. I think I think Thieves will take it, and then we go to the end here with Surge and FaZe. And of course, it's got to be FaZe, right? They have to go and
Mhm.
bounce back on this. Um,
I think they fixed
and
their hard points
well,
going into
that
this.
yeah, that's a good point because I really think that's where this all depends. I
Mhm.
mean, Thieves have just looked so good in every mode, honestly. Um, but and FaZe look good in them too, but I think the one mode that's really tough to try to catch up on with Thieves is Control.
Mhm.
Um, so if you're gonna have any mode that gets sacrificed, where like, oh, our Control maybe isn't the best, then you got to make sure your hard points are really good. Because if we're gonna go to a game 5 here, it's like you're still only playing one Control.
Mhm.
You know, you don't have to worry about like another loss in that mode. But the hard points have been the problem for FaZe in the recent majors. So hopefully this time they've fixed it. Because if they do, I think this will be a really good match. And I think in this grand finals they could win against Thieves if the hard points there.
Yeah, and these FaZe grand finals, I feel like you and I have had this basically every single major going into it, and it just flip
Yeah.
flops, right?
Yep.
Um, and I think FaZe will fix the hard points going into this, and they're going to show up at champs, and they will win Black Ops 6 champs. Game 7. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to get their get back against Thieves that time that they all the way back. It's going to come full circle, dude. Full circle from Major 1, and they're going to take it. Game 7.
Dude, I want FaZe to win this for the fact that Abizi and Simp would then be 3-time champs,
Mhm.
which would just be absolutely legendary. Like to see them up there doing it with like all with Karma, with Clay, with Krim. I mean,
Mhm.
that would just they would be solidified as like there's no way you can have a list with those guys where they're not in the top 5 now. Like they
Yeah.
have bumped people out of that, you know. Um and yeah, it would just be so sick. It would be like the cherry on top for that team. Thieves have had their run. FaZe come in at the last minute and they show everybody who's boss and they get the
Mhm.
win. Yeah, it would be sick. Plus, I want to see those. I want to see Simp like throw his headset like he. I think it was at.
Yeah.
I can't remember what. I think it was at Black Ops. No, it was at Cold War.
No.
Yeah, when he won it, he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" Like his hands
Yeah,
were
yeah.
passing.
Yeah.
I want that again. I want to have like, "What? I can't hear you." I want that
Yeah.
again. But
Yeah.
yeah, this hopefully will be a really good grand finals.
Give
Um,
us a game 7 again.
I know, dude. That's really what we're all hoping. We're hoping for.
Mhm.
And
Game 7, and it's just gonna, it would be very poetic if it went game 7 and these took the first time and FaZe just fixed everything and they decide to get their get back at champs.
right. Um, this has definitely been one of the more like close matched seasons that we've had, where the top teams like this, there's very little wiggle room between them. Both of them are kind of day to day as to who's going to be winning, which is
Mhm.
really nice. Um, so I look forward to this. I think it's gonna be a really good champs, despite everything that we said at the beginning there. With unfortunately only the 8 teams and the lack of promotion, you still got to go and watch it because it's gonna be a really good one.
Mhm. Yeah. And this bracket, honestly, it I think it's pretty reasonable for the most part. Again, grand finals, we're saying FaZe is winning. obviously you and I can see Thieves winning too. Because I mean they just won the last major. So like you can't go wrong. Again, I feel like that's been the theme of this year. It's Thieves or FaZe. You can't go wrong with either team.
Well, we'll screenshot this and we'll post it on our Twitter, and we'll let people critique it or look at it and see what they say. Because looking back at this now, this is the least hot take filled like bracket. Everything here is completely logical. You know,
Yeah.
we don't have Breach making an insane run, or we don't have Carolina with the insane upsets. Like this is, I mean, obviously what I would predict. This is very standard, what you would think and how it should play out. But
Yeah.
as we know, what's always fun about COD is it doesn't always work out like this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we could have Breach beating Thieves. It could happen. You know,
It could happen.
or we could have Optic beating FaZe. Optic just shows up and they're absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, there's a lot of these matches that could just randomly go one way and completely change the course of this bracket. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
excited for that.
I think if there are any upsets, it's probably going to happen around in the elimination rounds.
Mm.
Again, like Breach Surge. Like I really can see Breach like eliminating Surge.
Yeah.
That Ravens Optic match. If Ravens just show up and they play like how they were back in the day, and they beat Optic, that's crazy. That Optic, a huge, the fan favorite, got eliminated that quick.
I just hope, I hope that some things like that, like depending on the team, I mean, I get like the upsets are good, because depending on where they fall in the bracket, they can be beneficial. But something
Mm-hmm.
like that, say Carolina beats Optic and then they go and play Heretics, you
Yeah.
know, if it shaked out that way, it's like, okay, they just went and eliminated Optic for nothing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
for them
You,
to just
you,
get
yeah.
immediately eliminated.
You want an underdog to make a run.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
really rock the bracket up.
yeah.
Like that would be the, you know, ideal situation. But something like Carolina, like you said, they
Just
could beat
a
Optic,
one-off.
but yeah, but
Yeah,
beating Optic and beating Heretics, people be like, bro, where has this team been? Like they just showed
yeah,
up
yeah.
all of a sudden here.
Yeah, I can
Um,
imagine. They beat Optic, they beat Heretics, they go beat Surge, they make
yeah,
it to elimination finals, and then
yeah,
they get
yeah,
knocked out.
yeah, right. Yeah,
They,
that would be mental.
mm-hmm.
But I don't think anything like that's gonna happen. I could definitely
Yeah.
see these round one, you know, like you said, elimination round one upsets going through. But like I said, we'll go and have it posted here. And we'll let people know what they think. Again, if you're listening to this and you're on Spotify, be sure to go over to the YouTube and follow along with us on this bracket breakdown so you could see it. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's one thing talking about it, but actually visualizing it and going back. And I'm looking at it, and it's like, yeah, that looks pretty good. There's nothing in there that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, also, it's just hard to make this insane when we know that FaZe and Thieves, they've won two out of the four majors already,
Right,
both of them.
right.
And again, it's 8 teams.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
There's only so much you can do, like for
exactly.
crazy combos or anything like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, honestly, I think that's kind of it, like breaking down this bracket here. And, you know, again, I hope people go and check it out, and let us know what your bracket predictions are. If you think ours are pretty much on point or you think we're absolutely faded, I think you're faded if we think we are. But,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, you're like, no, dude, there ain't no way that's going to happen. It's like, okay, bro, please
This
explain.
is the most vanilla bracket
Yeah,
like
yeah.
ever.
Yeah. And again, we didn't even put any rounds in here or anything either. Like
Yeah,
who
yeah.
knows how these matches are gonna go. Um and I think the rounds again could be kind of irrelevant at times, but
Yeah.
uh yeah, I think this will be a pretty good one. I think this bracket, this might be the one, Justin, where we actually have it pretty freaking close.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, if we did have it 100%, I'd be stoked.
Yeah.
So again, I hope all the teams that we had placed they actually show up on this day.
Yeah, yeah,
And
right.
there's no teams that have just been, you know, chilling playing Rocket League or whatever during this break here.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, man, I think that's just about it for me.
Yeah, I mean, let us know again, like Mike said, and enjoy champs because regardless of the lack of promos and stuff, champs is always a good time. Like
Right.
watching, you know, there's gonna be a new champion unless Optic, they just they do it somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know what insane juju that would be, but most likely there will be a new champion this year.
If Optic wins this, then I'm gonna go buy a lottery ticket immediately because that there's something in the air. Planets are in retrograde. There's got to be something going on for them to make that miraculous run.
Merc hops on and he's a champ his rookie year.
Ah,
wow.
Yeah.
What a story.
Yeah, that'd be insane. Or again, they turn it around for EWC. I mean, they still got to play for, I mean, that who knows? Who knows what we're going to get from them? I have my suspicion that team is going to be better. But are they going to make that amount of progress within a month to start rivaling those teams? I don't think so.
I'm with you.
But crazier things have happened, so we'll see.
Exactly. Yeah. So just enjoy the champs weekend. Black Ops 6 hasn't, been everything that we've expected, obviously, and no new maps added.
No.
Like MW3 at least added new maps that made it a lot better. Actually really good maps. They made it way more fun to watch.
Yeah. Now that is true. I didn't even think about that. That is kind of a drag that they didn't do that this year.
Yeah.
They had maps, I think, like that were pretty good or that would have been viable for competitive, but they just put them in too late. And then they didn't, with I don't know how that even goes with the league and with the players trying to decide on maps and stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
Like being late.
Well,
they didn't want to
this year they just added what's the map? The car map.
Yeah.
Like that's the only one they added.
Dealership.
Yeah, that's the only one they added. And the CDL told them you're playing it.
Right.
Whether you like that or not, I'm sure as a player you probably don't like it. It's good for the people watching, no matter what. So I think the CDL should just do it, even though obviously they don't know what they're doing by just adding maps, because some maps just won't play out that well competitively. But it gives us something new to watch at the end of the day.
Yeah, it just injects a little bit more life into it. But it will be good to see these guys playing again. So like you said, be sure to definitely tune into it. Like by the time you guys are seeing this, it's going to be this coming Thursday. And it's on YouTube. If you never watched it before, be sure to go and watch it, because I know you and I are going to be watching as much as I can. I mean, I'm going to be trying to, I have to work a little bit, but I'm hoping that the time that the matches happen are a little bit before or after. If not, I'm going to be having to post it up on the phone.
Yeah.
Trying to follow along as best I can, because I want to be there for when any of those upsets happen, for when Carolina makes their run. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to hear what's his name? I want to hear Miles like, hey, Carolina.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm living for. See them stand up, go crazy, but we can only hope and dream. But yeah, I think that's it though, man. Unless you had anything else you wanted to add.
No, I think that's it.
Cool. So again, like I said, everybody earlier before, be sure to go to the YouTube and check out the bracket, since we'd really appreciate it. And while you're over at YouTube, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, since we've been seeing some growth on there, which we appreciate. And of course, going to anchor.fm/COD Casuals, since we're there on all stream platforms. So be sure to check us out there, or going to TikTok, or going to the Instagram. If you don't want to go and watch the whole episode, just go over there and give us a follow. We'd appreciate it. And of course, on all those platforms, 5 stars, always 5 stars. Because it helps us out a lot and we really appreciate it. And then as well, of course, I said before, on Twitter, be sure to join us on Twitter and join the community, since we're going to be posting in there a ton as usual, and then posting during champs. If you want to talk to us, just reach out to us there. And I think that's it, bro.
Yep.
So again, everybody, thank you for listening to this episode number 227 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
And we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.
See ya.